楽しい楽しい
What's up guys, it's Aeon here, and today we got a new chapter of Mental Out, so let's review it and see what I thought of it. Chapter 1 was quite an interesting premise for the Clique election, and we get more information about this in chapter 2, and this is basically an exposition chapter. There's no action, it's purely just details of what's about to go down, apart from a little cliffhanger ending which didn't really make much sense since it didn't really have much context to it, but I'll just try and theorize what happened with that little cliffhanger there, but otherwise I'll just be talking about the information that we got. So if you read chapter 1, you should know that Shoko has been challenged by Gaoin Tsukasa to the student council president election, so Shoko has to battle against this new rival character in order to gain like the top seat which students can get in Tokiwadai Middle School. I think it is a bit weird how both Mental Out and the Railgun manga at the moment are both focusing on arcs to do with the cliques in Tokiwadai, as they weren't technically very explored like previously, apart from Shoko's clique. But now there's a huge emphasis on the clique culture of Tokiwadai, and we're learning much more about them than we used to. But still, I find it weird how both of these manga are covering clique-based arcs where it's like a huge focus, and it kind of feels like there could be more variety in terms of that when the two stories seem to be quite similar in that regard, since the Railgun manga at the moment is also focusing on like a war or conflict between like multiple cliques, and this is kind of the same thing which is going on, although at different points in the timeline, since the arc which the Railgun manga is currently in is a flashback arc, while this is presumably happening after Astral Buddy, which is in the middle of Index 3, if I'm correct, or at least around the time of the Aqua of the back arc. Anyway, we learn that there are two phases to the election to become president of the student council of Tokiwadai, and in the first phase, there's a clique election where the students vote for a favourable clique. So you basically have to have a clique to be able to enter the election to begin with. So basically all the clique members will just vote for their own clique, since that's actually allowed. Anyway, from what I gather, the top 3 cliques, or the top 3 leaders of the most popular cliques, will be competing against each other in phase 2, while the other 5 clique leaders who don't get to the final have to vote for who they want out of the final 3 to be the president. Since it is confirmed that there are currently 8 cliques in Tokiwadai at this point in the timeline, so the 5 loser clique leaders are known as electors, and basically they vote for whoever they want to be the president, so it's whoever has the majority out of those 5 final votes in phase 2. And from what I gather, like, I don't know much about US politics, to be honest. I like to turn that shit off when it's on TV, since it's just chaos. But apparently it's kind of similar to the US election system, where you have like normal votes and an electoral college in a way, but slightly different with the loser clique leaders getting to decide who gets in. Now, what do I think of this? Well, I think it's kind of silly, to be fair. Well, it's revealed that you can ultimately skip phase 2 if you win enough of a majority to actually warrant that your competition won't ever be getting like the same amount of votes as you. So if you basically have the entire school vote for you apart from like a few people, then you can basically skip phase 2, since you'll already have enough support or votes to skip phase 2 entirely. And I don't know, that makes more sense to me, like just having phase 1 as the way to decide the president, rather than just having this weird phase 2. Like, surely it makes more sense for the entire school to have the final say on who gets in, like just have a normal democratic election. But then I guess it just becomes a popularity contest, but that's basically democracy in a nutshell. And I guess that would kind of kill the drama since Shoko is guaranteed to win since she has the largest clique in Tokiwadai. But I guess they could spice it up with people disobeying the rules and stuff to make it more interesting. But I kind of feel like that's the route this is going to go since this system looks like it's really easy to abuse. Like, the main problem I have with this is that the number of students in Tokiwadai are not stated and the numbers per clique. So it honestly makes me wonder how a clique is classified as a clique, as we learn that these cliques are actually officially recognized by Tokiwadai, and I didn't know that before. Like, I think this is kind of new information. I thought they were just kind of like just an unofficial group, you know, that all the girls decide to go into, and that in that group has their own set of rules led by the clique leader. But no, apparently these cliques are officially recognized by Tokiwadai, which is crazy. And we later learn from Gawin that you can't simply, oh yeah, I'm going to split up my clique into little cliques to compete in this election so that if those, you know, little cliques fail, then they'll be able to vote for the main clique. But how did he even control that? Is it just that, oh yeah, you're an official member of this clique, so you cannot leave and start your new clique? Like, surely that would be allowed. Like, you can just, yeah, what if you had like a dispute with like the clique leader and you wanted to form your own clique and a group of you just decided to do that with you? And then you basically enter this election and then you drop out because your clique isn't popular enough, and then you can just basically vote for the main, you know, former clique leader that you had. So you can vote for Shokuho. If you left Shokuho's clique, you can just form your own clique and then go through the system, which is really, like, it looks really easy to abuse. And I think that's what's going to happen. It's pretty set up that way, to be honest, by Kamachi if he wrote this. But yeah, what's stopping them from saying that? Like, what's stopping them from saying, oh no, this isn't a sub-clique, this is an entirely new clique, wink wink. Like, how the hell do they know if it's legit or not? Like, is there any way to find out? I mean, they could use Shoko's power to find out, but I mean, she's not going to do that because she's Shoko and she's probably, you know, collaborating with her former clique members in order to gain this advantage and just basically lie and say that you're not a subset of this clique anymore, or like a sub-clique. And then you can just basically win. Like, this seems really easy to abuse. And is that a writing flaw? Maybe, I don't know. It really depends how this spans out. I mean, if one of them actually does that, then I guess not, since it's been recognized. But if, like, Shoko and Gawin don't even try this, even though Gawin has said it's, like, not the right thing to do. But even then, it's like, her description was, like, if they were an official, like, branch of that clique, when they're not. So, yeah, I don't know. It really depends if Kamachi or Nogi have thought about this enough for it to be flawed on purpose or not. Anyway, one thing I like is that we actually got a description of what exactly Gawin meant in a previous chapter by Shoko being unable to use her abilities, so she can't directly use her power to influence the votes, like getting people to vote for her on purpose by using her mind control ability, or like destroying the ballots by manipulating espers, stuff like that. So that's not allowed, but other usage of power is fine, just nothing that directly influences the vote. Anyway, Gawin decides to use one of the tricks up her sleeve and basically announces that Misaka Makoto is actually supporting her clique in the election, which Gawin probably thinks will get her a lot of the vote. But I don't know, like, she even calls Misaka a lone wolf, and I get that Makoto is sort of popular in Tokiwadai. Like, I don't really know if she is. Like, she usually hangs around Kuroko, Wanai, and Watsuki, and Kongo. But that's about it in Tokiwadai. Like, she doesn't have a massive group of people who, like, follow her like Shoko. So, I don't know if Gawin thinks Makoto is as popular as she actually is. I guess, like, a lot of people respect her, but I don't know, I feel like they'd vote for their friends more over than someone who they respect at the school. That's just my opinion, at least. Anyway, the cliffhanger ending I mentioned was that Junko is interrogating some Tokiwadai student. I don't know what clique she's in, but I don't know. I'm assuming she's in Shoko's clique maybe, but it's not really clarified or stated. Anyway, apparently this unnamed girl has like a huge secret that Junko is willing to leak to the election committee or something if this girl doesn't do what Junko wants. So yeah, that's pretty vague. So I guess we'll find out what she means by that next chapter or the chapter after or sometime in the future. Anyway, this chapter overall was okay. I definitely prefer chapter 1 over this, and I feel like this chapter will definitely be better depending on what comes after it, as this was pretty much an info dump chapter, so it really depends how this info and these rules are utilized in the following chapters that come after it, and we will see how many rules are broken by Gawin and Shokuho in this clique war for the title of president. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for more Mental Out, Railgun, Index, all that good stuff videos. So yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.